Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about, is Kat the mother of JJ Oliver? Now, for many fans, we all know that in Power Rangers Zeo, there was a Christmas episode that went far, far into the future where Tommy and Kat, the two veteran Power Rangers, got married and they had two grandkids. I think we see like their son, the older son, probably in there. He has a morpher. No, he has a communicator, and he might be like a power. And he's a Power Ranger. Don't know what kind of Power Ranger though. Or I think it was probably one of the grandkids. He had the communicator, and he's a Power Ranger, but we don't know what kind. And so we know that in Zeo, they eventually did get married and had like kids. Now let's do a quick recap of their relationship. When Tommy showed up in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, he was evil, then he turned good, and then he hooked up with Kimberly. They started dating and everything, and then they dated all the way into Season 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. During that time, Kat came in as an evil villain, and she used to turn into a cat. Well, after the spell got broken and everything, Kimberly left to do some gymnastic stuff, and no, that's the last we saw of Kimberly until the Turbo movie. And the whole time Kat was evil, she kept like trying to get with Tommy and stuff. However, after she turned good, she no longer tried to get with him. Then we go all the way into Zeo when he gets a Dear John letter. I remember the show Dear John. That was such a good show. Anyway, so he gets a Dear John letter from Kimberly. She has now broken up with him via writing him a letter. He's heartbroken and all this other stuff. So Kat decides she's gonna try to cheer him up. And and you can see she still has like feelings for him and stuff. They try to go like on a little date and all this other stuff. And they go on some kind of like ski trip and all this other stuff. So anyway, but it doesn't even do that in Turbo. They never dated, and they never really had no affiliation, like flirting or dating, nothing like that. Then in Turbo, they graduated and then they left. Many years later, he became a teacher and moved to like a different location in Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And during Dino Thunder, he had no girlfriend, had no wife, had no nothing. Now, many fans assumed that he was like, dating Haley because they knew each other in college. But there is now a rumor that Haley might have been the very first LGBT person in Power Rangers. The showrunner wanted her to show up in the finale with her date, which would be the female. This got scrapped because they weren't allowed to do that. Because, it was like the early 2000s and stuff. And so that got scrapped. But him and Haley has never had no kind of relationship that we knew of. Also, the principal lady, she liked him, but so far we don't know if anything ever happened between them. Then he shows back up for Super Mega Force, the big battle and everything. He's unmorphed, and there's no status of his relationship. And there are 3 Pink Rangers that Kat once was in possession of, but she's never unmorphed because the whole Captain Sutherland didn't go to New Zealand to film it because Saban is very cheap. He's rich, but he's cheap. Then many years later, when Saban bought the company back in Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Dangers and Dimensions or something like that, Tommy and Kat are in the same episode. However, this is what is so bizarre. The whole episode focused around Tommy. Nothing too bizarre about that. But Tommy is introduced to other Rangers that he knew in the past. Kat and Rocky. And, also, I think TJ was in that episode. And so this is what was really weird. When he sees them and they wake up from their little slumber thing, after they're being like, drained. I think they're being drained of the energy, or they're putting some kind of like stasis type thing. Anyway, when they wake up, there's really no interaction between any of them, yet they all know each other. There's no interaction between him and Kat, him and Rocky, him and TJ. or even him and Gia, or even him and Trent. Like Trent, like him and Trent, they all, or him and Trent, like Trent, TJ, Rocky, and Kat, they all fought together. They were all on the same team. Yet there's no interaction with any of them. It's like they're all complete strangers and stuff because the writers are stupid. So then, in that episode, we see Tommy has moved once again, and then he has a little son. But there is no status of his relationship, and there is no ring on his finger and no ring on Kat's finger. However, at the very, 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 very end of that episode, we see him and Kat hold hands as they jump back through the portal. They go back to their little dimension thing. And so I think her and JFD, I think they just did that to have some kind of like continuity to show that, something was going on with their characters and stuff. I don't think it was their plan. It was just improvised and stuff. So once again, this opens up the debate among fans. Is JJ the son of Kat and Tommy? Well, we know Tommy. Now, in the comic books, the Boom comic books, it has been confirmed that Kat and Tommy are married and that they do. JJ is their son. However, the comic books are not canon. Therefore, let's just throw that out of the equation. Now, he's not married in that Ninja Steel episode because there's no ring on his finger. And there's no ring on her finger. Also, there's really no interaction between them two. Now, the fact that there's no interaction, that could be anything from just the writers being stupid. But let's speculate and just say, oh, who knows? They probably have like a falling out or something. She ain't been seen in over like a decade. There's been no interaction between those two. He's never even brought her up on his past shows that he was in. And so it makes me now wonder, I don't really believe they're married and have a kid together. At least not yet. Because, like, JJ has brown hair, dark brown hair. So does Tommy. Kat has blonde hair. Now, you would think they would cast a kid that would have, like, dirty blonde hair or sandy type hair, Also, when we see Tommy's house and he goes back there, there's only one car in the driveway. Now, normally in a married couple, there's two. And, and so where's the other car? Also, since he is gone and Kat is gone, who is watching JJ? Perhaps it's JJ's real mother or a babysitter. Or maybe he just by himself, home alone. And so, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, okay, do you really think the writers be that dumb to let a kid stay home by himself? No, somebody had to be in that house with them. And chances are, I believe, it was his real mother and stuff, who we don't see on camera. Now, Captain Sutherland, oh, no, wait. It can't be his real mother because him and Kat was holding hands at the end. Unless, like I said, there's no ring on Tommy's finger. So maybe his baby mama, maybe she's just a baby mama. Maybe they're not married. Maybe they broke up years ago and they have a kid together. That happens and stuff. So, Captain Sutherland did say that, yeah, whatever, they're like married or whatever, they're together. But she probably only said that because, one, she's not the writer of that episode. She's not the showrunner or director. She probably just said it just so fans would shut up because they kept speculating about it. And they constantly asked her that question. So to make the fans happy, she probably just like, yeah, whatever, they're together. And because of that Zeo episode. But here's the thing. Let us pretend and say this. Tommy did make a kid with another lady. They broke up. Him and Kat, they're trying to rekindle their affections or their flirtations that they had back in Zeo. And maybe that's why they held hands and stuff. Maybe they're going to start a relationship. And then maybe in the future they get married. And then she will become JJ's stepmother. See? But now here's the thing about all this. We're forgetting about time travel. Those events that happened in Zeo in that Christmas episode have probably all now been erased. Why? Because of Power Rangers Time Force. When the Time Force Rangers went back in time, they literally kept altering history. Every time they stayed in the past, they were constantly altering history. And not only did they alter history, but when they came back for Wild Force, they were altering history yet again. And they didn't erase none of those people's memories. Now let's jump in the future. SPD. They had that crossover with the Dino Thunder people twice. One time they erased everybody's memory. The other time they didn't. So yeah, that one time they didn't erase people's memories, that has now stayed canon and stuff, and this is altering history. Because we know that because of Time Force, when you alter history, it changes the future. It's none of that Avengers crap. This is the good old Back to the Future kind of time travel. Also, let's not forget, ever since Saban took over and they did the whole Ninja Steel and the whole Dimensions in Danger thing, remember now they have a type of like portal device that enables them to not only travel through time, but through other dimensions. And all that jumping around is causing the space-time continuum to shift, so time is once again being altered. And then when somebody comes in from a different dimension, they're altering stuff. So now I'm believing that what we saw in Zeo in that Christmas episode is no longer canon. This would probably explain why in that giant Power Rangers battle in Super Mega Force, we saw multiple Rangers and at least 3 or 4 of them were occupied by the same person in different seasons. Now they probably have shifted the power to somebody else and that person's taking over. I don't think that like Kat is JJ's mom. I just don't want to believe that because it just doesn't make no sense as to why she would be his mom. Their hair color, there not being 2 cars, him being watched by somebody else while they're all being Power Rangers and stuff. The fact that him and Kat have had no interaction for so many years and stuff, and now all of a sudden they get like married and like have a kid. And so it's just like, and plus the whole time travel shenanigans altering stuff. So I want to believe that they are now at the end of the dimensions and whatever that thing called, danger, dimension, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I believe now they want to start a relationship. I mean, hey, why not? It's been so many years and they both used to like each other but never did anything. I want to believe now that they want to get in a relationship. Many years from now, they will get married. I want to believe they will actually have a child of their own. But for now, I believe she is just JJ's stepmom. Or soon-to-be stepmom. It would be neat if Haley or that principal lady would be like the mom, I mean, it makes sense for Haley. She has brown hair. I mean, and it's not canon that she's bi or like a lesbian. So, who knows? Or maybe him and Kimberly got back together. I mean, come on, who don't want to see them back together? That could also be a possibility. Maybe him and Kimberly made a child, and maybe he's still hurt by the whole how she broke up with him and Zeo. So, like, because they didn't really interact that much in Turbo either. So, maybe they still have hurt feelings and stuff. Now that would be better. That would be a whole lot more juicier if him and Kimberly had a child, then they broke up, and then Kat swooped in and started dating him. And that'd be nice, like a love triangle tension type thing. That's what they should have did in the comics, man. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.